My people, show. When I know say we dey do 63 years independence anniversary, Arise TV, they can't invite Peter Obi come ask am say if to say na you be the president, na you dey where Emilio con dey, wetin you for do differently from wetin we dey see, because we don dey see shege programs for Emilio con hand. Now Peter Obi say make dem chill. Say yes, if for remove subsidy, he go remove subsidy. And issue of this naira go dey, but e get formula wey for use. Then he talked about devaluing the currency no be the issue, na to get stabilized economy. My people, we can't give us example of country where we say their money na tissue, but the economy na gidigba. My people might not talk to me when I watch this video. Now do what in let me share this video. I'll go soon for the next update.
Who is Peter Obi, 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party and former governor of Anambra State. Good morning, Mr. Peter Obi. Thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Reuben and the team. Thank you very much for the honor of inviting me.
Well, quickly, yesterday we were discussing your message to the nation, and this morning you has referred to it, that a new Nigeria is possible and that our situation is not hopeless. A strong message of hope. But this morning, I would like you to start by sharing with us how you have been lately. I've seen you in Princeton University, I've seen pictures of you in the East, and your thoughts on the cases in court, on the judgment, particularly at the presidential election petition level, and everything else, including this big issue about discovery for use of the president's credentials from Chicago State University.
Well, my first reaction, I will take it one after the other. Number one is the issue of how am I feeling. I feel very positive about the future of Nigeria, like I mentioned in my message. And I put it to people ask me about the judgment by this and everything, and I said, I remain positive. Because when I look at what is happening now, and comments of respected, highly respected, I would say, and less respected Nigerians, and Nigerians in generality, he underscores the erosion of value that comes to the heart of the urgency of building a new Nigeria, where things will be properly done based on people saying the truth, doing things rightly, within the laws and behavior that is required of a modern society. So for me, I feel positive. On other areas, and maybe as we go along, I will clarify what is happening and everything. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Peter Obi. Now, just to ask you, because this is a big topic currently with regards to the fuel subsidy removal, the attendant effect on Nigerians, the response by organized labor. Yesterday, they met with the federal government and they said they were going on a mother of all strikes starting tomorrow if their demands were not met. I'd like to ask you a question with regards to what you would have done, because during the campaign season, you described fuel subsidy as organized crime and that you were going to remove it. What would you have done differently? So would you have still gone ahead to remove it? Would the timing have mattered? What would you have put in terms of palliatives if you had been elected as president?
Well, let me reiterate my position. And I said, fuel subsidy is organized crime, as it was being practiced even before. If you go and look at my tweet of September 19, 2022, and then read my manifesto, it showed clearly, manifesto of Labour Party, showed clearly the way we would have approached 8. Fuel subsidy is organized crime. I've said this repeatedly, and that is going to be removed. I mentioned it during the campaign. I mentioned that what we are consuming is far above what we are supposed to be consuming. And if you listen to Governor Isaiah Gudaya's interview recently, he said that a friend of his who was involved in fuel subsidy gains and everything told him that it is criminal, that he's even tired of making money through that type of crime. It should be removed. Which shows there's a criminality side of it and corruption side of it. Then if you look at, since the subsidy has been removed, our consumption is just about half of what it is, which again shows that what we are consuming. So for me, the approach would have been, and that's what I said, go and read my tweet, is to remove the corruption and criminal side of it, remove the excess demand that is not factual. By doing this, you would have reduced it by 50%. The remaining 50% is what would have been able to, after consultation with various stakeholders, been able to find a way to, in an organized manner, remove and showing the proceeds of the removal or the gains of the removal to be invested in a critical development areas, education, health, and pulling people out of poverty. People need to see that transparency of transferring from here to here, the gains and everything. And when you do it in an organized manner, with proper palliative that are well structured, thought after, not just haphazardly, you would have been able to see Nigerians go along with you. One of the things we are suffering with this announcement is what I can call announcement effect. You see, policies like these are not what you just announce haphazardly. There are things you thought through and everything. That's what we would have done as Labour Party.
Okay, so Mr. Peter Obi, I would also like you to sound off on probably some level of specifics as regards the kind of palliatives you'll have even put in there in the first place. What are the kind of targeted palliatives? And let's talk about this floating the naira, the exchange rate conundrum, where we are today. Things have gone really south. Formerly, naira to the dollar, we know the threshold as at 2015, but now it's over 1,000 naira to the dollar. The naira is taking a tremendous beating. What would you like to say about this? You've also talked about, fraudulent activities in the foreign exchange market and all of that. What would you do precisely, probably step-by-step empirical approach to the naira as we speak today?
Well, again, my dear friend Rufai, congrats, I heard you're now a doctor. So you're going to be more difficult on dealing with. So let me tell you, Mr. Rufai, first is that you can't float a currency you don't have supply with. It's like building a non-gated house in a criminal-ridden society. You have to have a defense mechanism. Nobody floats what you don't supply, you don't have supply. I believe, I wouldn't even, not just saying what we would have done, but I believe that now we have new CBN team. They have to look at the overall monetary policy, which, if they focus on their job, which is exchange rate, inflation, and everything, I know, it is again not something you announce haphazardly. It's something you look at. Nobody flows his currency without having adequate supply. When you don't have adequate supply, there were pressures, there were criminality in our exchange rate regime. Again, we should have worked on eliminating those criminality and excesses in our foreign exchange regime because there is strong unmet demands. The Naira was under pressure and a bit overvalued. Everybody knew that. So what you would have done is to devalue the currency. We were at 4.12. If I had this before now, a devaluation to about 600 or thereabouts would have been it. We are trying to manage the supply by making sure that we deal with issues that is what controls your exchange rate. Rufai is a simple thing, is your reserve. And what controls your reserve is your export. You have avenues and things that you would have exported. You're supposed to export from your oil to other minerals to everything. Is to encourage those things that will help to start dealing with issue of any more foreign exchange. We're trying to manage what you have, rather than just leaving it open and say market forces. I can tell you, not even in the developed world have anybody left this currency to market forces, because sometimes you might not control it. And now it's because it's difficult to control, because you cannot reverse your policy that you've sent down. So that's why I said this is an announcement effect that would have been well thought through by a proper economic team and consultation properly before announcing. You don't just announce these things in a market square and say we're going to do this.
Okay, Mr. Peter Obi.
Governance is different from that.
Mr. Peter Obi, I want to get you right, and that's why I ask specifics. Are you saying we should have devalued the currency to over 600 and go to look for money?
That's
to
what I would have done.
defend
Go
the
and
currency?
read my listen. Yes, I would have done that.
So you're saying that go to look for money to
I would have devalued the currency, still stay where we with a management form, making sure that whatever is available is used by the real sector.
But in all
removing the criminality, I can tell you, I know in that regime, I know, yes.
Mr. Peter, but in all fairness, to this government, where will the money have come from for them to now be able to keep that rate, owing to the fact that the CBN report coming out saying that we are so encumbered that we probably only have around 3 or 4 billion in our reserves to. Where will the money come to now defend the currency when we have a backlog of close to $6, $7, $8 billion in the first place? So are you saying you will have borrowed more to now defend the currency?
Rufai, I'm involved a little bit in finance. And I know that in every country of the world, they're even trying to borrow money, even using a company. It doesn't matter what yes, you can do that. You are not borrowing to defend, just to defend the currency, but to stabilize it temporarily while you're working aggressively on your exports. It's not everywhere. We are not the first to do it. You can do that while you're working aggressively on your export, which if you look at what people are stealing and doing today, if we're able to do it, and remember what I said, manage the criminality side of it, like whether it's rand tripping, anything. If you do it properly, I can tell you, you would be able to do it. And also, removing the fact that dollar has become what you can call underground currency of our economy. It shouldn't be. We have a currency called Naira. So you should remove it. All these things that people are using dollars to do, which are not productive, should be removed. If you remove it, I can assure you can strengthen the currency. But you have today, even if you want to do party primary, people are sharing dollars. If you have to do that is not our currency. And that should be a stiff penalty in dealing with that issue. If people earn it legitimately, let them spend it the way they want. If people are doing business and earn it, let them spend it the way they want. But in a situation where it has become even a means of, call it corruption and criminality in our system, we should be carefully manage it.